The ACT reading section can seem really intimidating, especially since you need to answer 40 questions in just 35 minutes, not counting the time it takes to read the passages themselves. But as you use your knowledge about common traps, you can eliminate wrong answer traps, which increases your odds of getting the question correct. For this particular passage, we're going to look at just the first paragraph, since our question asks about a phrase within that paragraph. The question asks, when the author says, all of my education in this way was a simple unfolding of an artistic spirit, lines 17 through 19, he implies that his artistic abilities were. So we're focusing on part of the first paragraph, but we should know what the first paragraph in its entirety says. My parents were farmers, potato farmers who dug into the soil and came home with dirt-stained hands. In County Cork, Ireland, children of farmers become farmers. But I had always been different, and my parents saw it in the way that I picked up sticks to draw in the dirt. They gave me pencils and then pastels and paper, too. They saw the truth about me. I was their son and an artist by birth. As if to validate this fact, they gave me a desk in the corner of the kitchen where I could keep quiet and immerse myself in fields of color, oceans of lines and forms. Instead of sending me out to dig potatoes with my brothers and sisters, they educated me by letting me stay at home, where I could look out the windows and draw the landscapes that spread out before me. All of my education in this way was the simple unfolding of an artistic spirit, but my parents knew as well as I did that no artist ever stayed in County Cork. So the part of the passage that we're looking at within the first paragraph includes how the author was educated, and the education, as we read about, happened entirely in the author's home. And one thing to note is that they describe how instead of sending me out to dig potatoes with my brothers and sisters, so this child within the family was particularly different because he did something completely different than his brothers and sisters. He stayed inside and drew what he saw out the window while everybody else was working. So taking a look at answer choice A, let's see if it matches up with this idea of the freedom to draw what he sees to help develop his artistic ability. Something that he learned through formal education. So that's going to be a distortion. There definitely was education happening, but this idea of formal education, there was not a teacher involved and he didn't go away to a school. So formal education isn't something that's reflected in this paragraph. Now, answer choice B is not a distortion, but instead extreme. So it's true that his family allowed him to draw instead of working on the farm. However, this idea that it was forced upon him doesn't make sense with the tone of the paragraph. So answer choices A and B are now out. Answer choice C says, developed through a rigorous homeschool program, which is a blending of answer choices A and B, both of which are wrong. Rigorous implies that it was very difficult and there was a lot of work involved. This sounded very laid back. He got to look out the window and draw. And then the idea of it being a homeschool program, again, there wasn't a teacher involved, so it didn't sound very structured. That leaves just answer choice D. Natural abilities that his practice drawing landscapes helped develop. Well, we're correct with answer choice D for a couple of reasons, and let's see what Crockett will tell us about our answer. The author mentions earlier in this paragraph that he was an artist by birth. This detail, along with his mention of an artistic spirit, implies that his abilities as an artist were natural abilities. He saw his education as a simple process that enabled him to develop the talents that he already had. So we have an explanation here. We have affirmation of our correct answer over here. And since you're not going to get every single question correct every single time you do it, you also have explanations for the wrong answer traps as well. So in addition to checking to see if you're correct or not, you also have guidance so that you can make good predictions and also understand the traps that they provide. So those 5 traps are super helpful to use to your advantage. Come on over to Crockett, check to see what your ACT reading skill level is now, and then you can make a good score goal and practice using solo practice or group practice, and you can create custom games as well. We hope to see you soon.